I've always said that the beauty of democracy is that it allows all of us to make a choice. And the beauty of politics is that it's a contest of ideas. But again, even more beautiful is that even when it's a contest of ideas, even when you have no idea, democracy still allows you to go and vote. So sometimes you can choose to vote on the basis of anything. Sometimes you can choose to vote for Kidi because you like the brand of his shoe. And if that is your reason, please accept that that is your reason. Stop forcing yourself to have another reason. Because sometimes the more you are forcing yourself to look for a reason, the more you are confusing yourself. Sometimes just say, okay, fine, I'll vote for this guy. I also don't know why. Because when I look at some of the things that are being said here, they border on the lines of something like, okay, me, I just don't want Ruto. Yeah, like that's where they border. So the struggle to look for a reason is very, very difficult. And there are some things that I had, and I'll allow me to go through them. I had things like we will create youth employment directly and indirectly when we form government. That is a conversation. That is something I had from those who are really inclined towards the opposition. I also had something like our agenda is good governance and constitutionalism. And I also had something like we will listen to those who know how to govern. Okay? All these things will actually be found on ChatGPT. If you just try to ChatGPT and say, I want to run for an election, what do you think should be my agenda? It is so easy for it to say good governance, constitutionalism, and such kind of things. Because these are just English words. The burden of responsibility comes when the question of how is asked. It is so easy for anyone like my brother there, if he's running for office, to say, I'll create jobs for the young people. It is very easy to say. But when you ask, how will you create the jobs? That is where the conversation should be about. That is what we call an agenda. It is so easy for anyone to say, when I'm running for office, when I win election, I'll create good governance and constitutionalism. Good semantic. But what exactly is good governance? What exactly is constitutionalism? And what is lacking about that in the current administration? If anything, if there is a government I know that has followed almost all court orders, is this one. I belonged to a government where we disobeyed almost 21 court orders. So we must be able to ask ourselves the fundamental question, how? It is easy for anyone to give you English words. If I want to run for the office of women rep today, I'll just say I'll provide all women with jobs. Looks nice on camera. But the critical question is, how will you do it? So if your leader is not answering the how, then you are almost sure that most of the time you're actually just dealing with semantics. I liked the idea of we'll listen to those who know how to govern. Unfortunately, that line of argument comes in the same line with we have experience. You see, you can't say we have experience to govern, and then when we ask how, you tell us you listen to those who know how to govern. Then what was experience helping you with? I thought that is the reason why you should be able to be knowing what you want to do. So these are usually some of the realities that we have to face. But now, in the critical question about the opposition as it is today in Kenya, because that is, I think, the cornerstone of this conversation here. As it is today, and I was saying it earlier, Kenya does not enjoy the privilege of having a formidable opposition. Because an opposition is supposed to be an alternative government. An opposition is supposed to be a place we look at and feel like in the event we didn't have this government, these ones can actually do a better job. And also an opposition is the place that we look for them to correct current serving government so that the ideas are implemented better. Opposition does not sit on the fence and throw stones at government so that government fails. Unfortunately, what we have today in Kenya is a conglomeration of people who throw stones to ensure government fails, and then unfortunately we call them opposition. When you looked at what Raila Odinga used to do at the time, Raila Odinga used to give us an alternative plan. He would be able to say, wait a minute, this thing you are doing about this particular agenda, it would be better this way. It would be better when it looks this way. And you will join hands and will get better results. But what we have today is not that. What we have today is a team of people with stones in their hands, throwing anything and everything at government and ensuring that it does not work. They are not interested more in the functionality of government. They are interested more in how it should fail so that it advantages them politically. And then the question of why is it hard for them to work together? There are several reasons why it is difficult for them to work together. And the most important reason is that selfish interest among opposition leaders overrides their interest for the country. And that is why it is difficult for you guys to come together. Because each of them has a selfish agenda. There is no agenda of the country. Because you can't come together on the basis of a political slogan. Unfortunately, today, the only thing that brings opposition together is a political slogan, one term. Now, one term cannot sustain you to the very end. You must be able to look at, okay, fine, what are we going to do about education? What's our foreign policy? What do we want to do about agriculture? These are the things and the ideology that should put you together, and then you chart that direction. And because there is no synchrony in an agenda, there is nothing about an agenda of the country, that is one of the fundamental reasons why they cannot be united in any way. And two, they cannot agree on one leader. Why? Because all of them feel like they deserve it. Everyone is pushing selfish interest. And because of that, they cannot agree on one leader. And that's why all of them love one thing. All of them love something called, we will choose the leader when the right time comes. Do you know why all of them like saying that? Because it postpones the problem. It keeps postponing the problem. No one is interested in actually meeting and saying, okay, fine, can we agree on who exactly is this? And let me tell you why everyone has a personal selfish ambition in that opposition. Some of them are interested in being community kingpins, and they have no interest about your country. And so they know that the only way this opposition stands is if I'm chosen. If I'm not chosen, I'll go it alone, because my interest is to be the kingpin of my community. And others feel like it is my time because I'm the oldest. And the only way this unity works is when, as the oldest, if you choose me as the oldest, then we will work. If I'm not the one who is chosen, this unity can be. So I am the oldest. The other one feels like it should be my time because I'm the one with the clout. Young people are shouting my name all over. So you guys, you should fear me. People are shouting my name, so it's my time. And if the only way this unity works is if you choose me. If you are going to choose me because young people are shouting my name, then that's okay. If you don't, then I'll go it alone. So you can be able to see that selfish agenda is across these people. And that's why they can barely agree on anything. They cannot be able to move anyway. And let me burst your bubble. All opposition leaders that you have today are better off President Ruto being president in 2027 than any of their colleagues. Do you know why? Because President Ruto in 2027 becomes president for 5 years and gives each of them an opportunity to run. But each of their colleagues becomes, when he becomes president, he will want to go for 10 years. And because all of them have selfish interests, they are not interested in anyone who goes a long time. So selfishly, each of them, even as they do whatever shenanigans they are doing, each of them, their presidential candidate is actually President William Ruto. I'm trying to avoid being so